Hi, it's Ingrid, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's time for my June wrap up. This is a little late because I went to Amsterdam to go to the Eras Tour to see Taylor Swift. So I just didn't have time to film. Before that I need to prep for the trip, and then I was away for a few days. Now I'm back. Been exhausted. PCD is hitting really hard. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sick now. Like really sick. So if my voice goes away, sorry. It's fine right now. Earlier today wasn't there, but it's fine. We're working with what we've got right now. I'm wearing merch. I bought more merch. I'm probably gonna show you at some point. Not in this video, maybe in my next vlog, I don't know. But I read 12 books in Do Not Fall in June. So we're just gonna go through them. I'll tell you my ratings, my thoughts. This time I wrote down the actual ratings of my books, didn't write any reviews. The lighting just changed. I don't know how I feel about this. Whatever. It's like very gloomy outside. It's dark. It's grey. Not a fan, but honestly, can't really do anything about the weather.
Well, damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather.
So we're just gonna film this now. I'll tell you my thoughts. I'm gonna say one thing. I've done reading vlogs of all of these books, I think. So if my thoughts and opinions have changed from that, and I'm not saying the same thing, it's just because I've had more time to think about it. So I'm gonna tell you my thoughts as of right now. My thoughts right after finishing the book might have been different, but now I've had some time to sit on it. I've changed a few of my ratings as well, because I have a tendency to just rate it much higher than I think it deserves, just because I just finished it and I'm obsessed, and then 2 minutes later I was like, it's not that good. So we're gonna go through all of these books. This has been my best reading month ever. Never read 12 books in a month before. I've had like a few different ratings, mostly good. So I'm really happy with my June reading, hoping July will be as good. Probably won't, because we're already at July, what, 10th? Haven't read a single book, so that's just great. But whatever, it doesn't matter. The amount of books doesn't matter. I'm just gonna get out of my little slump because of Taylor Swift and being sick. And then we're gonna enjoy what we do read. But let's get into the reviews. So the first book I read was The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This was my first ever Sarah Adams book. I rated this one 4.75. I'm thinking of maybe lowering it to a 4.5. But I did really enjoy it, so maybe a 4.75 is good. It's not exactly a 5-star. I thought it would be at first, because I was obsessed with this from the first page. I loved every second of it. I wasn't expecting that, because whenever people talk about Sarah Adams, they're always talking about the Rome series, like When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect. And I've heard so many people say, if you pick up this one and don't like it, still read her books because When in Rome is so much better. But I really enjoyed this one. I was hooked from the first page. I loved the characters, I loved their friendship and their relationship, and I just really enjoyed the story. I think the guy in this was just a really good guy, and I really liked that, like the way he treated her, and he didn't like create conflicts, because this book is about two best friends. The guy is a NFL player, the girl is his best friend, and then one day she gets drunk and accidentally let it slip to the world that she's in love with him, and then they have to fake date. But he's like in other relationships, and he could be like very guy about it, but he's not. He's a good guy, and I feel like he doesn't act like a lot of other guys does, and I like that. So I don't like unnecessary conflicts, and I feel like this one was really good. I don't remember everything about this book, but I think like the conflicts that did happen in this book weren't bad. Like I could enjoy it, because usually I hate direct conflicts. In this one, no, I love this book. So 4.75 stars, and I really enjoyed her writing. I think I really want to read all of Sarah Adams' books, so I need to buy more. I have one. I'm excited. I loved it. Really enjoyed it, and I do recommend. The next book I read was a YA mystery from an author that I've read a few books from before. That is The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This one is not my favorite of her books, but it's not my least favorite either. I rated this one 3.5 stars. This one is about 3 cousins. Yeah, there's 3. Who... how do I explain this? I need to go more back in time first. There's this woman who's really rich. She has 4 children. One day, out of the blue, they just get a message that, don't come back, I don't want to see you, and then I never hear from her again. They have kids, the cousins, who one day, after like never being involved in their grandmother's life at all, they get a letter inviting them to her island to stay with her, to work with her during the summer as like a summer job at her hotel, and then they do it, and then there's a mystery, things are going on. I don't know what else to say about that without spoiling it, but they're trying to like figure out the truth about why were their parents sent away, why couldn't they come back, what happened. I'm gonna say that I did guess the thing that happened in this. I didn't guess how it happened, but like the actual thing, I figured that out. And I think I like when a mystery is open enough for me to guess things without it being too predictable. Maybe it was a little too predictable because I guessed it pretty early on and I knew some people involved and like what was happening, but I didn't really see it coming the way it did. And I don't know if I loved the way it ended. I think I would have liked a little different thing going on there. But I did enjoy it more than the last book I read by her. I think the last book, what did I read last? No, not the last one. But the what's it called? You'll Be the Death of Me is my least favorite of hers that I've read by now, up until now. So I like this one more than this one. Whatever. I like this one. I don't know what I'm saying. I like The Cousins, this book, more than You'll Be the Death of Me. But I still think the One of Us is Lying series is better. But I do enjoy her writing. It's a quick little mystery and I enjoy it and it's fun. And I'm gonna read all of her books. Then I read one of my favorite reads of the month, possibly one of my favorite reads of the year, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I'm obsessed. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I loved the relationship, I love the characters. I think Luke Brooks, possibly favorite book boyfriend ever. Absolutely obsessed with him. I just think the way he was treating her and just the way he was acting really made me happy. I enjoy that. This book is about, I don't remember her, Emmy, that's the girl's name. She's a horse rider, like she races horses, I think. Yeah, she's riding horses. One day she gets injured, so she moves back to her family ranch where Luke works. They like grew up together, had a little rivalry going on because he's her brother's best friend, and I guess they were like teasing each other or something, and they're just starting out like that, not really friends, but he's being so nice to her, and there's almost like a little rivalry going on without them being mean to each other. It's just we're not friends, but we can exist together, but they're obviously falling in love. And I loved him, the way he was treating her, the way he was handling like her problems. It was so cute and I loved it. And sometimes in books, I'm gonna make sure I phrase myself correctly here, he cared so much about consent in a way that made it natural and cute. Because books can do it sometimes, where it just takes away the romance. And that's not like I'm not saying like don't do the consent thing, because obviously do that. But in this book it was done so good. Because I feel like some people like overdo it in a way it just doesn't feel natural. But this is how it's done. He's so cute. I love him. I love them. I'm obsessed. I love it. And the writing, so good. I'm obsessed. Lila Sage could become one of my favorite authors. I obviously need to read more than just one book of her to know that. but I loved it. Next up is a very popular book that I've never read, never watched the movies either. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've seen like clips of the movie on TV, but I've never like actually sat down and watched it or read the books. Did now. I bought them last year. My mom bought them for me when I got an A on my first ever exam. So I got the whole trilogy. Never picked them up. I don't know why. But I did now. Did a reading vlog. Haven't posted a reading vlog because I want to read the rest of the series in the vlog as well. So it's coming at some time, at some point. I don't really know. But I rated this one 4.5 stars. It's not my favorite book, but I did really enjoy it. It's definitely a YA book. It reads like a YA book. I wasn't expecting that. It's very simple in the like writing and the storytelling, which I liked. I enjoy that. I don't want it to be like too much thinking or too much brain power to get through a book. This one I could just disconnect from the world, sit down, enjoy the book, relax, which was refreshing. How do I explain this book? Every year, I think it's every year, there's like the Hunger Games where one boy and one girl from each of the districts gets taken into this place where they have to compete. And basically there's children fighting to their death. The one who survives wins. And that's what's going on in this book. Wasn't sure if I was gonna enjoy that, but I really did. It was fun. It's sad. Some of the things happening in here, obviously they're killing each other. It's not a happy book. But I liked the, I don't even know what to call it, the dynamic between Katniss and Peeta. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think Katniss is a fun character. This is all told through her POV, I'm pretty sure. I wish I could see more of like actual Peeta's thoughts, but I think also the story would be really different if we did, so I really enjoyed it. I had fun with it. The writing, very easy to follow. The story is also very easy to follow. Like it's obviously it's a like a dystopian thing, but it's not too hard to understand. Like it takes you along in the story and like you learn while watching things happen. It's not like a, oh, it's gonna like tell you everything, this crazy world building. None of that. It's just you gets taken into the story and you learn things as we go, and that's my favorite way of doing these types of books. So really enjoyed it. It's not a 5-star, but I did enjoy it, so I'm giving it 4.5. And I'm excited for the rest of the series. I want to watch the movies. I'm trying my best to stay away from spoilers, which obviously is really hard when both like the books and movies have been out for some time and everyone loves it. But I did enjoy it. The font in this one, pretty big, so it's a very quick read, but I really enjoyed it. Don't know what else to say about it. I'm struggling to talk and breathe, but it's fine. We're gonna continue. The next book, don't even know what to say about it. The Housemaid Secret, the second book in the Housemaid little series by Frida McFadden. I rated the first one 3 stars. I'm not gonna talk too much about that, but that one angered me. It was split into parts. Every single new part made another level of anger get into my brain. This one, same thing. I ended up giving it like 2.75 because I liked it less than the first one. But I don't know, I kind of feel like it's not a fair rating, because I don't know if the book is the problem or if maybe I'm the problem, because the writing, really good. Like the writing is like 5-star level in my opinion. I really love Frida's writing. I think she's a really good storyteller, and the writing keeps me going, like I'm interested, and it's just so easy to follow, and it keeps me like intrigued, and it's very quick to read. But the actual story, the characters, just anger me so much. Like, why are you putting yourself in this situation? You don't have to do it. You can't just, you know, leave. Why don't you? And I'm just so frustrated with every single action that all of these characters make. One thing I do love about the story is how we start in like the middle of something towards the end, like you get something really exciting and then you go back in time and you build up to that moment, which I think is a very fun way to do it. It definitely keeps me interested, and I think there's a possible chance that I would have DNF'd both this one and the first one if I didn't have that, because I needed to see how it happened, like how is this going to end and connect and all of that. I don't know what to say about it because it's just so frustrating, and I don't know, maybe it's a me problem because I just don't like the things that are going on in here. I don't like the characters and I don't like their actions or the way things are happening, but the writing is really good. So I want to continue reading her books because the writing is so good. So I do recommend. I think other people can really enjoy it. Me personally have problems with it. Then I picked up another Sarah Adams book. When in Rome, the first book in the Rome series. I've heard a lot of good things about this, so I was excited to pick it up, especially since I love the cheat sheet so much and people have said they love this even more. I didn't. I still really loved it, but I don't think I liked it as much as the cheat sheet. I gave this one 4.25 stars. In the beginning I was really bored. It took me some time to actually get into the story and to care. Didn't really like any of the characters in the beginning. Like, as separate people, I don't care, but I do like their relationship, and I don't really know what to say about it. Like, I connected more to this book than I did to the cheat sheet, but I enjoyed the cheat sheet more. I'm not even gonna say like I connected to it, I just felt I have a deeper connection to the relationship, but not to the characters or the story or the setting or anything. I think I really enjoyed, again, Sarah Adams' writing is really good and I enjoy that, but also the dynamic between the characters was good and I really enjoyed it. It was a quick read, but I didn't like the characters that much as individual people, and I found some of their actions annoying, especially the girl, but also the guy in the beginning. Like, you're ruining things for yourself, just act like an adult. And I don't know what else to say about it. I liked it, but it's not my favorite. I want to continue the series though, I'm going to do that. Next book was a reread. I did Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. I reread Heartstopper Volume 1 earlier this year, then I picked up this. I want to reread the whole series before Season 3 comes out in October, so I picked up this one, Needed a Yellow Book, for a video, and I like Nick and Charlie. I gave this one 4 stars, same as I did on my first read. This one's just a very quick. I didn't tell you what the books were about. You see, this is why I don't do these videos. I'm not going to bother doing it now with the two. Should I do it? The Housemaid's Secret. It's about a housemaid. I don't know how to say anything about that without spoiling the first book. I don't even know. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to tell you what the previous books are about because I don't want to. But Nick and Charlie follows Nick and Charlie before Nick goes away to university. So just like some of their last moments in school together, and just you see them struggle with normal struggles. They're cute, they're in love, the book is sad and happy. Don't know what else to say, but I really enjoy it. I think it's fun to have like their story in like a actual written thing as a novella and not just graphic novels. I do really love the graphic novels, but it's fun to change it up a bit. So this is a novella. It's pretty short, but I do enjoy it and I recommend it. If you love Heartstopper, you should definitely pick up the novellas as well. The next book I picked up is by an author that I feel like was really popular on BookTok. I don't know if she's as popular anymore, but I know that when I first discovered like BookTok and BookTube, she was everywhere, and that is Tessa Bailey. I've never picked up one of her books before until I saw this one, Fangirl Down. I'm pretty sure it's a relatively new release. Might be wrong, but I think so. I've heard, before I read it, I heard one review and that was bad. Didn't enjoy it. So I wasn't really sure how to feel, but like it's about a fangirl, and that was what intrigued me because I'm a fangirl. But I loved it. It wasn't what I expected, but I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4.5 stars, maybe. I was thinking like 4.25, but I liked it more than When in Rome. So I think I have to give it 4.5. I was expecting more of a fangirl story, because this book is about this guy, what's his name, Wells, who is a golfer, and then Josephine is like his biggest fan. And then things go bad for him in his career. She's the only one still supporting him. And then one day he asks her for help, and she starts working with him, and there's a romance forming. How do I explain my thoughts for this book? I don't know. I was expecting more of like the fangirl aspect to be a big part of it. It wasn't. Just in the beginning, as soon as she started working for him, there was a very professional relationship. The fangirl thing wasn't really a thing. There were moments, but not really a lot. I wish there was more of it, because that's the reason I picked it up, because she's a fangirl. But the characters, I've really enjoyed. I like Josephine because she's standing up for herself. I love Wells because like he's so alone and is like vulnerable, but it doesn't show it. And then he lets her in, and I just like that. And he's so nice. Like he's this tough guy on the outside, but then when they have like these moments together, he's so nice. And I really like it. Like it's such a big softie, and I love it. And I don't know what to say, because I don't want to spoil things with like specific scenes. But what do I say about this book? I just really love their relationship. Something that, I don't know if it's a spoiler. Like I like that they didn't really deny their feelings for each other. Like sometimes when they fall in love, I feel like a lot of the times actually, they're like starting to have these feelings and oh no, I don't like her. Don't like her at all. But in this one, he could admit it to himself that he did want her. Something I didn't like is their like need to keep it professional. Like I get it, it makes sense, but at the same time, you're in love, you're perfect for each other, be together. But I really enjoy this book, and I think it's a fun read. I think you should pick it up. I think you should try. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited for the next book that comes out this month. I think it comes out in like 8 or 9 days. And I'm very excited for it because it's a nanny romance, single dad, love it, very excited. Another one of my favorite books of the month, possibly favorite book of the year. No, not my favorite book of the year, but one of my favorite books of the year. Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. This whole series have been like a very anticipated series for me. Picked up Flawless, didn't love it as much as I expected to. Saw Cade in that book, the main character of this. He was so grumpy and I hated him. So annoying, like just being rude for no reason. In the beginning of this book, he was like that. Then I started to see more of his like thoughts and his reasoning for being the way he is, and I can enjoy that more, that part of him, and accept it more if there's a good reason for it. And I feel like he had a good reason for being the way he is. And he's also willing to, I'm not going to say that because it's going to be a spoiler. But this is about Cade Easton. It's not Ethan. It says Easton on the back, and that's annoying. His name is Ethan. It's a mistake on the back. But Cade is a single dad who's been in like a, I'm not going to talk about that. But he's raising his kid on his own. On like the family ranch. And this whole family is like very close. So we get to see the rest of the family as well, and I love those moments with the rest of the family. And the girl, is this Willa? Yes, Willa is the name of the girl. I'm so bad with names, but she is Summer's best friend. So Summer really sets this up for her to be, is the kid named Luke? Yeah. She's being hired to be Luke's nanny, and then like she's a live-in nanny, so she lives in their house. Her and Luke have this adorable relationship, and I love them so much. I love Luke. He's adorable. He's like a 5-year-old kid who's so cute, and I love the way he's acting with everyone, but like the relationship he formed with Willa, so cute. Also, I'm giving it 5 stars if I didn't mention that, but Cade is a very overprotective man, especially over his kid, so the dynamic between Willa and Cade is a little tense in the beginning, but then obviously it's a romance book, they do fall in love, and he's so cute with her when he allows himself to admit to himself that he is in love, and I love that. I think this book is much better than Flawless, and I loved it. I think the characters are so well thought out and I like them. Camera turned off. Willa is like a strong character. She's standing up for herself. She's not afraid of being her, which I love. Cade is such a grump, but he's also such a softie. Like, there's good reasons for the way he is, and I love that, especially when we like start showing that and he's being more open. I love that. I don't know what else to say because I'm going to start spoiling things and I don't want to do that, but I love this book. I tabbed like a few places. I don't remember why, and I'm not going to check that right now. Next book, a little scary to talk about because I gave it 3 stars. It's a very loved book and everyone's obsessed with it. I'm not. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Got this for Christmas. Was very excited about it. Picked it up in May, April, May, one of those. And didn't love it as much as everyone else did. Not as much as I expected. This book is about Peyton, who's an ordinary, posing as an elite in a world where ordinaries gets killed because they believe that ordinaries have an illness that takes away the elite's powers. So she has to pretend to be an elite to basically survive. She's alone, living with her best friend in the slums, where she's like a thief. She steals things for them to survive. And then one day she runs into the prince, and eventually she has to compete in these trials. Is that what it is? Yeah, where you have to win, basically. And she's competing against the prince. And it's also a romance. And I loved it very much. The romance, the relationship. I'm not sure I can call it a relationship, but like the dynamic between Peyton and Kai, I really enjoyed. Everything else, bored. The trials, boring. Every moment with Peyton and... what's his name? What is his name? The brother. The other prince. Kit. I think his name is Kit. Every moment between them, like, they were cute. He was being nice and she was being nice, but they annoyed me. He annoyed me so bad. And I feel like my feelings towards him was justified towards the end. But I just didn't like him. The book was pretty boring to me. I can see why people love it. I just don't think it was for me. And the trials were just boring. And people are comparing it to the Hunger Games, and I get it. But the trials in the Hunger Games, much better. The only thing that really kept me going was the conversations and moments between Peyton and Kai. Towards the end, I got a lot more interested when things started happening. And the ending, I'm not talking about the like ending that everyone's crying over, but the other ending, that's like the build-up for the next book. Oh my god. So I definitely need to read the next book. I've bought it, so I'm very excited for the next book. This wasn't my favorite, but I think I'm gonna love the next one more with the way like this book is setting up for that. I think I didn't enjoy it that much. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't need to love it just because everyone else is. Next book was a reread, kind of. I started this book November 2022. DNF'd it New Year's Eve 2022. And I was like not even halfway through, but I just couldn't get through it. So I picked it up again this month. Restarted it. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I wanted to read it before the show came out. Why didn't no one tell me that the show doesn't come out outside of the UK until August 1st? Because every single post that has been made about it is July 1st. And then on July 1st, open Netflix, August 1st. Excuse me. And then they start posting, oh, it's out, the rest of the world, August 1st. Say that in the beginning then, because I wouldn't have rushed through this. I'm glad I did, because I absolutely loved it. Gave it 4.5 stars. The first time I read it, really disliked it, couldn't get through it. But I think it was because I was in a slump and not because of the book. But in this one, Pip, our main character, has this school project where she is trying to solve a cold case, a murder that happened. Technically, it's not a cold case because they think they know who did it. But is that a spoiler? Yeah, it says here on the back, 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell was murdered by Sal Singh. The police know he did it, everyone in town knows he did it. But she doesn't believe he did it. So she's using this school assignment as a reason to investigate. More than the assignment allows her to, but she does it anyways. And I'm really enjoying it. It was fun. I liked it. It's not a 5-star, but it's a 4.5, so it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I bought the next book. I want to read that. And I'm really excited for the show because I love this a lot more than I did the first time I picked it up. But again, I was in like a major slump at that point, so that might have been the reason. And I was not in a slump when I was reading it this time. I'm really enjoying it. The writing is pretty good. The storytelling, really good. I loved this book. And I'm so excited to continue. The ending, didn't really like. I was a little caught off guard there. Wasn't expecting it. And wasn't my favorite, you know. I did have my suspicions throughout this book of who did it, what happened, who was involved in the murder, but also in different things. And I was right about some of it. But it's still like, even though I guessed the person for, I don't know how to say this without spoiling, because I had suspicions for different things and different reasons, and I was right about multiple things in this book. It didn't feel too predictable. I feel like it was fun for me to guess, and it was fun for me to be right. But it was also like, oh, I think this is happening. And then it's still like things that are happening, like maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, I think it is, but like it could be something else. And then we got to the end and I was right. But there were still these moments that made me not fully realize what was happening, which made it fun. Because if I was just predicting everything, wouldn't have been fun. But it was like a good balance of me finding things out and other things going on. So I'm excited for the rest of that series, really enjoyed it. If you haven't read it yet, pick it up, do it, it's worth it. The last book I have to talk about is a novella, Powerful by Lauren Roberts. I rated this one 4.5 stars. I like this one a lot more than Powerless. This is Adina's story, Peyton's best friend, and it follows the same timeline as Powerless. So basically, she stayed behind obviously when Peyton gets taken into the trials. And then she meets this other guy, Mac, and they kind of team up for something. I don't know if it's a spoiler. I went into this one completely blind, and I think you should too, so I'm not going to really tell you more about that. But they just team up for something. It's really sad. I felt like this was sadder than Powerless. I loved Mac, and I did love Adina. I think this was really fun, and I'm glad I read it. The writing, pretty good. It's pretty big as well. It's just a very quick read, and I love this a lot more than I like Powerless. And now I'm even more excited for Reckless, the second book, because I'm just hoping that this ties into that. I feel like it should, obviously, because why release it if it doesn't? But I'm very excited to see how that's been done. So I'm going to try my best to stay away from any spoilers. I don't want to know anything about the next book. But I'm very happy I read this because this was very enjoyable. But that's all the 12 books I read in June. I had a really good reading month. I'm happy. Oh, I'm very happy with all of the books I read. I had fun, did some good videos out of it. And I'm hoping that July will be as good. But that's all I have to say for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Maybe tell me in the comments the best book you read this month. Mine are Heartless and Done and Dusted. I would like to get some new recommendations. So if there's a book you liked, let me know. But that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Remember to subscribe, please. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for 300 yeah. Thank you so much for 300 subscribers, by the way. It means a lot to me. So, that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Peace out, lovers.